Welcome back. If you're just joining us here on Daybreak, thank you so much for choosing Citizen TV. My name is Zinzi Kibiku, and as we promised, we want to get into ENAGE, this being a Tuesday. And the purpose of ENAGE is just for us to dissect social issues. And today's topic is around pressure management. And we're asking you today, how do you simply deal with pressure? How do you deal with your pressure? Be it pressure from relationship, from work, from business, to every atmosphere within your life. How do you deal with pressure? Tweet us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Zinzi_K, at Samgituku. You can even call in, by the way. Call in and be part of the conversation. Those are our numbers, 0719777777. The hashtag is Daybreak. How do you deal with pressure? It is that simple. Would love to hear from you. All right. So, of course, as always, ENAGE is never engaged without these three beautiful people. We have Robert Burale here in studio. We have Anita Ray, and we have also CJ Atemo. It's a good to see you. Happy New Week.
Oh, I was saying Happy New Year.
No, it was about to come out as like rain May. Happy New Week. It's good to see all of you here.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I think, no, you're the one who didn't get the memo. Purple, purple, blue, blue.
Yeah, it's Anita who...
Anita is just in a different WhatsApp.
But her hair is almost there.
Anita, how are you dealing with this pressure?
Which of my hair?
Of your hair, not even your hair.
Not having been in the memo, you know.
Why did you not get the memo?
Who gave the memo?
Hey, you're in a different place.
I'm always in a different place.
We're going to start off with you now.
Yes.
Yeah? How do you, as Anita Ray, right?
Yeah.
And the good thing is that all three of you are somehow in the public space. But Anita Ray, being someone who's in the public space, how do you deal with pressure?
Okay, people are different, you know. And personally, I have learned how to assume even myself sometimes. So I have learned how to assume everything. I have perfected over time how to block things, which is not a good thing.
It's not healthy.
Because yeah, it blows up at some point. And CJ is looking at me like, yes, I know you have issues. I know, CJ, I know. But the thing is with me, considering I live in a world of social media and my job, and the fact that I'm very outspoken and I say things that people don't want to hear most of the times, I get a lot of backlash and bad things. So I have learned how to block them out. I always say life gives you negative and positive. You choose what to focus on. So I always try. It doesn't always work, but I block out every negative thing. I try so hard. But I won't say it has not taken a toll on me. I have depression. I've been dealing with it for since 2016 now. So I have a therapist. I see a psychologist once in a while. And you see, that's how I deal with it. I talk to someone about it. If I feel like you're putting me in a corner, I actually talk it out.
So what is your message to people who are facing depression, but they say, kwenda kuona psychologist, that's kitu ya mzungu, that's a white thing?
But depression is not a white thing. That's the reason we have a very depressed generation without knowing. It's not a white thing. It's a mental problem. You know, your mind is like any other part of your body. Ikiumia ina need help. It has actually a doctor for it. So don't keep things inside. And trust me, there's nothing as beautiful as walking into a stranger's office and telling them all your problems. Not that they will solve them. You just let them out.
Right.
Yeah.
Just that process.
Oh, it's healthy. It's healthy.
Well, Burale and CJ, both of you are also in the public space. You're also in ministry. You mentor, and you are very big on mentoring men as well. But how do you personally deal with pressure?
Well, you know, first, when you look at a pressure cooker, the pressure works well when the lid has been covered. The key is to remove the lid and let the pressure just get out. Talking to people, but also understanding, because there are people who also will put you. Anita said something, and I've seen her also being attacked on social media. What you got to understand, well, we have all been attacked. I don't know about CJ, but
CJ, that makes
we have been attacked on social media. So what you got to understand, to avoid that pressure or to manage it well, is first understand who you are in your place. So that what other people say out of hatred, negative hatred, does not get to you. You understand what I'm saying? What am I talking about? You have to understand, and you have to look at it from the other person's point of view. When you go to social media, you know we are a very depressed country.
Yeah.
And then instead of getting annoyed, you first ask yourself, why is that person throwing so much vitriol? It's because also maybe they're dealing with something themselves. You know, I remember last week, I thought, CJ, you saw it. I said something about marriage, and somebody says, who are you to discuss marriage and you're not married? You understand what I'm saying? So I didn't get annoyed at that person. I was like, maybe that person is also dealing with their own issues. Maybe even his marriage is on the rocks. So what you got to do is understand that not everybody will agree with you. Not everything will go your way. But as long as you have focus of what you want to do, and then you'll be okay.
All right, CJ?
You know, you've got to, first of all, define what's the pressure all about. There's going to be internal. We're mostly discussing like external pressure. Sometimes the pressure is internal. It's just you, your goals. It's just where you want to be at in life, things that you desire to do. Sometimes the pressure is internal. It's not external. But again, when it is external, then you have to define what's the source of your pressure. Is it people? Is it your dreams? Is it just society? What's the source of your pressure? Because the moment then you begin to fragment that, it's easier to do what Anita is saying, which is to shut out. If that pressure is coming from people who don't mean too much to me, it's easy to shut it out. If the pressure is coming from places, people you can't avoid, there's a way you're going to have to manage that pressure. You know, if RB is putting me under pressure, I can't avoid him. So
yes, you can.
So I'm going to manage that. So sometimes we allow pressure from unnecessary sources to define who we are. And that's what we need to shut out. Don't take in all kind of pressure. You don't go onto Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, see what somebody else is doing. When we came in over here, so somebody complimented RB over his suit, you know. Yeah, it should not put me under pressure. Like, oh, now I need to do a suit. No, you just need to understand that's not necessary pressure. Yeah. You don't go onto Anita's Instagram, see how many people are following, then begin to feel like I need to be as controversial as Anita so that I get the kind of following. No, that's unnecessary pressure. So we've got to define it, break it down, then really see what's making you feel under pressure. Yeah.
So it's to look for the underlay why. The why, what's causing the pressure. Yeah. But that then requires a bit of me time and honesty with yourself.
Yes.
But are we Azizi, let me ask you something. How many times are you comfortable with yourself?
Oh, me?
No, I'm asking. Yeah, and you, are you comfortable?
Oh, me, I'm very comfortable. There
are people who cannot stay alone. And I mean at all. Like at all. They're so scared of themselves. They would rather go. Let me give you an example. There are people when under pressure, they want to go to the bar. They want to go sit with friends. They want to do something. As long as siko peke yangu. Na nikiwa peke yangu, I want to be so intoxicated, I'm just going to sleep. I know people like that. A lot of people. Because you don't know yourself yet. You don't want to face your demons. Maybe they're demons for a long time. And maybe you like, there are people who want to stay broken because it gets them attention, you know. So they never want to be alone, you know. I want to be in this state of being broken, being depressed, being sad. I want to be this because people are, oh yeah, you'll be okay. You know, sympathy, empathy, all of it. You're getting all of it. So there are people who cannot. And I always ask, how many hours in a day do you spend alone? Right. How many hours in a day do you actually stay alone with yourself? And ask yourself, are we okay? Are we doing okay? You know, are we okay? No, people don't do that. They'll think it's psychotic to even talk to yourself. You should talk to yourself. I mean, you got you. You're you. You need to find yourself, know what you like. But people don't do that. And that's a problem. You never find what is underlying. Others it's abuse, others it's bad parenting, others it's just esteem issues that they're underlying over years.
Burale, is it different how men and women handle depression?
Yes.
Or rather pressure?
No, what happens is it's easier. I'm not saying it's easier for women, but they have an outlet. Yeah. Because I leave the two of you for 5 minutes and you've just met. On the 7th minute, you'll have released all your pain. If I met CJ today, I'm going through my issues, he's going through his issues, we'll first size each other up. Is it a safe space to release? All you need to do is go to a salon. You are doing the same hairstyle, you're best friends.
I know,
then you release. She said, the moment you just let it out, even if she doesn't give you the solution, the moment you've let it out, the pressure has been reduced. For men, I mean, for CJ and I are very close friends. But trust me, it took years for a friendship to get to a place where I can call him and tell him, CJ, I'm dealing with this, or he can call me and tell me the same. It didn't happen, actually, even for 2 years. You understand? So you size each other up. So for men, it's a bit different, and that's why I said this some time back. Ladies contemplate suicide. Men actualize suicide because we live so much inside and comes to a point everything bursts. So men need to look for a safe place. So it is different. We all go through pressures, men and women, but for men, we don't talk because we only talk when there's a safe place. And we feel when we say it, we have unclothed ourselves.
CJ, do you agree? That how men and women differently handle pressure?
Yes, because men operate more from the logical perspective. So they want to think things through. the sizing up, you know, I'm thinking if I talk to this guy, how is he going to view me? Then there's now the ego also. Am I going to lose my standing in his eye? Will he still look at me as the person that I am? Because we work so hard, you know, to be who we are. So most of the time, then a man feels like, I'm not going to open up. Our logic usually is the gate man to our emotions. Before you get to our emotions, you get to our reason. We think through it so much. It's easier with women because even for men to talk to women, because the woman brings out her emotional side very quickly. So the man feels this is something I can trust, because most of the time then the woman will have talked about her own struggles, what she's going through or something. So it's even easy for the man to do that. But when a man is meeting another man, they don't easily do that. Having said that, I needed to go back into something that Anita said, that, you know, going into your personal space. Well, if that's not working, you also need certain friends who can tell you the truth. You need certain friends who can tell you the truth, because some of those things, sometimes you just need somebody who's saying, look, you're living beyond your means.
Right.
You just need somebody who...
An honest friend to tell you the blunt truth.
Yeah. You know, reality check. Say, man, you look for a cheaper house, or sell that car and buy something else. You don't have to drive what you're trying to drive right now, or do something. Sometimes you need people. But then again, it can't just be everybody. That relationship must have grown to a place where you can take the truth from them without feeling like, it was malicious. So we also need to have solid friendships, a support system. And that takes time, you know, to invest into and to grow.
I mean, I have to ask, because you're also in ministry, you're a pastor, what pressure does to you spiritually, to your spirit man, right?
Yeah.
What does that do to you? And perhaps how then again do you strengthen your spiritual self to then undergo through the pressures in life? Because I think we first think, as part of the day, fine, you've handled your body. And it goes to my psychologist, fine, you've handled your mind. But how have you handled your spirit?
You've got to have people that speak into your life. You must have. You see, pressure begins when your capacity reduces. Everything that we deal with as pressure, somebody else will deal with it, and it's not pressure. It's just that we didn't have the capacity for it. When somebody is feeling pressure, you know, for payment of a loan, pressure of a house, pressure of a marriage, there's somebody else who's dealing with the same thing, but they're not feeling under pressure because they have built their capacity for that. So you need to have some people also who speak into your life, who pour into your life, who will increase and build your capacity.
Right.
But I think, like for me, you know, when you're at a place where people have really drained you, because that's where the beginning of pressure actually starts. When you feel drained, you've been giving out, pushing, doing everything, and it's not really working for you. You need to step out of that environment. You need to get out of it emotionally and sometimes physically. You need to step out of that environment and go into a place where nothing is required of you. A place where you're taking in. You know, you're not the one who's giving out as a leader, so you're taking in. So I can go into a seminar, I can go into a place where I just need to relax, I can go into a place where we just having fun, I can go into a place where I'm talking to people who've been where I am right now, and they say, look, what are you going through? You're going to come out of it. So I come out of that place more energized. Sometimes it is good for you to just step out.
All right,
where you're.
Anita, because of how vocal you are, that you say, you see a psychologist, so you have your mental health check on your box, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you go to the gym. I don't know how you take care of yourself physically, but I want
Do
to
I look like I go to the gym?
Okay. You go to the spa?
I am not. Do you know how tiring the gym is? I tried it.
Okay. But how do you take care of your spiritual self? Especially now, since that you share your story with the public over and over again about your depression story.
Yeah.
Is it, how do you personally feed then your spirit man? Because sometimes I'm sure it's exhausting beyond your physical self.
Everybody's looking at me like, does she even have a spiritual side?
I experienced it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You know, people actually people think like, because I'm vocal and maybe I'm outgoing, that I don't know the Lord, you'll be very shocked. I have learned that everything that I am and everything that I've come from is because of God, you know, and I don't take that for granted, and I don't even joke with it or even mess with that at all. And I barely mention God in my social media, not because I am afraid of it, because I don't want people to even joke with it. And I have learned sometimes it's draining when someone meets you. And the one thing I really hate, and people do it all the time, is when they get sad when they hear your story. And you know, you can't, I've been told to stop forcing people to deal differently with my story. People deal the way they want to deal. But I want to control how they deal. But I can't. And sometimes it's draining when you find someone online with your story. It's going to trigger you. You're going to feel like you're back in the same helpless place where you can fix a problem. But I've learned one thing: prayers work. Trust me when I say that. Me, in my weakest of moments, when I can't do a lot, I have a tattoo written, breathe. I just breathe. Because I always believe as long as he's letting me breathe, then he has a plan. So sometimes it gets so overwhelming around me. But funny enough, I'm the only person I think who goes to church katikati ya mchana when I feel like I really need to enter church. I'm a Catholic, so I'll just go and just pray for a while and just stay there. It's very calm for me in church. And I'll just be like, you know what, I really need to breathe. Just breathe. And I do that a lot. I just breathe.
That's what needs to trend. It's very calm in church.
Anita in church, very
but sadly, with the social media behavior, that will not trend.
Oh, that's the sad part. So,
Yes.
what about you, Burale? How do you take care of your spirit self?
Oh, I mean, I have people who speak into my life, a spiritual cover. I do have my me time and quiet time, reading the scriptures and praying. And I love worship because it has a way of just filling my spirit man. Because what happens when your spirit man is broken, hopelessness comes in. So if you can, you know, you can have so much pressure all around about you. Yeah. But if your spirit man is standing firm, trust me, you will walk through that. But if you're broken in the spirit, anything else that comes will just put you down. So the spirit man must be taken care of. As Anita says, go to church. Have people who speak, not just go to church, because church is a building per se, but have the church that is you, that you got to feel, because you can't give out what you don't have. You understand? So spirit man, and of course, as you take care of your spirit man, your health must also be good. You cannot be eating pizza 5 times a day and you say my spirit man is strong. You know,
What does spirit have to do with pizza? That is the wrong example in the entire world.
Listen to me. Because your spirit is in a body. Understand what I'm saying?
Either way,
if
pizza is
today
not
you're
bad.
admitted in a hospital, if CJ is admitted, he's a senior pastor.
Yeah.
If CJ is admitted, yes, he's been reading scriptures, but he's not taken care of his body. Let me tell you, he will not go to church to preach the gospel. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, we've seen those people who will purposely not take care of their bodies and they're like, Jesus will fix it. But anyway,
wisdom is the principal thing.
Wisdom is a principle. Anita, earlier on when we began the conversation, you said positive thinking is important.
Yes.
How does a positive attitude help one cope with pressure?
You're already under pressure. A negative is just adding to the pressure. You see, pressure is weird. It can be very small pressure of maybe in our society of today, maybe someone wants me to wear heels. I will never wear heels. So,
I shall buy you one.
It may be weird pressure of people asking you, you need to look like this. Our society is quite weird. The pressures are very small. We have a society of people who want you to live in a certain way that they don't actually live, but they dictate it because you put yourself out there in the public. And those are the pressures that people have.
Yeah.
So imagine if you focus on CJ today said I should wear heels, tomorrow Arbi says I look good in rubbers, and then that day Zinzi says I should wear wedges. I'll be like, guys, what do you're not asking me what I want.
Right.
And that's the problem. Stop listening to what people tell you about yourself. Because at the end of the day, you should know yourself. That's the positive in you. When you wake up in the morning, what do you want? As much as there's so many pressures in the world, what do you want? Focus on that all the time. Focus on that, because if you focus on you, then you can be able to avoid. That's why me block people. It's easy. You can be talking to me and I can listen.
And that's what I was waiting to hear. Does having a positive attitude mean blocking?
Oh, me, someone can be talking to me. I swear I have no idea what they're saying. Because you're being negative and I really don't want to take it
What if someone is telling the truth about yourself? What if I'm like, Anita, that hair is not cutting it. I'm being honest with you, but for you, you might see it as Zinzi as being negative energy. But I'm being honest with you.
One thing about me, I know the difference.
Right.
Trust me, you will tell the difference. Zinzi, if you're telling me about my hair, you will not be mean about it. You'll be like, yeah, Anita, this hair is good, but...
Kuna venye.
And me, I always tell people, I really appreciate your opinion, but it's my hair, so God bless you. It's my hair.
Right,
you know?
right.
But you learn what to take in and what not to take in. You get, that's the difference. You can be telling me there, oh, Anita, I think you should be this size and dress. I will listen. Doesn't mean I have to take it in. You get. There's a big difference. I don't have to take it in. Someone is going to tell me on social media, oh, you're fake, it's okay. That's their opinion. They have a right to say that. I just don't have to take it in or even believe it. The problem with people, unasamaga mtu amekwambia, oh, you're fat, then you believe it. Why are you believing someone who doesn't know you?
Right.
Someone is going to tell you, oh, you're short, you should be wearing a lot of heels. Why are you listening to someone who doesn't know you?
So know the difference between
the negativity and criticism. There's a big difference.
All right.
Big difference.
All right, CJ, now from a relationship point of view, be it girlfriend to boyfriend or within a marriage, there's always this thing for, you are my peace. Your other spouse is your peace. But I got to see a different school of thought where your husband or your wife shouldn't be your peace. That is unnecessary pressure you're putting on them. So you as a wife or you as a husband, you're going through your own pressure and you have to carry the baggage of your other spouse. How do you handle that?
Well, I think when you come into a relationship, you must have very realistic expectations of each other. You must manage your expectations. This is somebody you love. This is somebody that you want to spend your time, your entire life with. But that does not mean that they're a god, in a sense. They have their shortcomings. They have areas that they're not strong in.
Right.
Sometimes they're not even good listeners. It could be as simple as that they're not even good listeners. So you must expect that. You must give space for this person not to be everything in your life. That means that you must also have some strength to bear certain things by yourself. The best that your partner can do, again, is what RB was talking about, just having somebody you can talk to. They may not solve it, but having somebody that you can talk to. Sometimes in relationships, partners are afraid of the pressure of their partners. Like, if the wife is going through pressure, you see the man begin to hide because he doesn't know she's going to act in a crazy way or the other way. It could be that when the man has pressure, then everybody runs away from home because they know he's going to act mad or something. Understand your partner. Understand your partner. Learn the various languages of your partner, whether it is love or conflict, whether you should be able to tell what this person is not saying. And then know how to deal with that. Know that when this person is under pressure, he doesn't like to talk, so don't force him to talk. Or when this person is under pressure, they want to talk, so be there for them to talk. And
we're going to explore that a little bit more, how you can be there for someone who is going through pressure. But let me hear from Burale, that issue, because it's so innocent. It's so innocent when you hear someone saying, you're my all, you're my peace.
People want the dream of love.
Yes.
And
Prince Charming on a horse.
First and foremost, I blame that to the Mexican soaps. What we don't realize is that this Mexican soap is a figment of somebody's imagination of a perfect world.
Right.
Yes. What needs to happen if you say
a perfect spouse, which there's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
There is Alejandro.
And you're putting some guy called Jonte under pressure to be like Alejandro. What I'm saying is, if you say, then you are my peace, and I do understand where they're coming from. Of course, you want peace at home from your spouse. But when you say you are my peace, there's only you who gives me peace. That means then you've given the power to that person to take away that peace. The peace must be an inside job. So it's two peaceful people coming together to create a peaceful environment.
Amen.
Right.
But now you keep on saying, you're my peace, you're my peace, you're my all. First and foremost, somebody can get very arrogant. It can get into somebody's head, and then they know they have the power to take it away from you. So be at peace within yourself. And how do you get to a place that when that you're at peace with yourself is when you're operating in your area of purpose. When you're operating in your area of purpose, it doesn't matter on the external pressure, because there's some level of fulfillment. Fulfillment brings peace. That's why sometimes you wonder, you expect somebody to be collapsing under pressure, but they have some peace that doesn't make sense. It's because they're in the place where everything around them works. You understand? And then this thing of saying, Alejandro, those ones, please stop.
But let us have dreams and goals, and who doesn't want an Alejandro?
But they need to be reasonable.
Let me be sarcastic. Girls have this unreasonable. CJ, you know where you're going.
No, I think that's what makes some of the breakups become very difficult, because somebody has literally stopped living.
Yes.
And they have expected the other person to be their whole life. So when they feel like you're going to walk out on them,
I'm going to die.
They're going to die because they don't have a life outside of you. I think that also needs to be managed, where you have a life, you love the person, but you also love you. And if they ever walk out, you still have a life to live.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as much as I know relationship advice coming from me might just go south, I believe that. I believe that you need to be complete as a person. Nobody can complete you. So that when you find someone else, they just compliment you.
Absolutely.
Always. You need to be complete. One of my bosses in Malawi always tells me that, Anita, you have to be complete on your own, then find someone to just compliment you. So if you can find that, if you're not complete, don't look for someone. Because when they complete you, when they leave, you'll be empty again.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, I think now that we're on the same level with that one, my question then is, how do you thrive under pressure, Burale?
How do you thrive under pressure? It depends. CJ says something.
Look at Anita's face.
First and foremost, you got to understand, number one, what kind of pressure. Right. We're in the social media age, where people put you under pressure. People abuse you.
Amen.
People have an opinion about your hairstyle, how you cough, how you even breathe. Now, what you got to understand, you have to put the pressure into compartments. There's pressure that is unnecessary.
Right.
You abuse me, you abuse anybody on social media. You have to understand that is a faceless person who is dealing with their own issues. So what they're doing, they're manifesting their issues by trying to also make somebody else feel bad about themselves. Now, that is pressure you leave aside. Because as much as, you know, we have woken up to come to work.
Right.
Some people have to wake up to abuse people on social media.
Every day.
People are working, we are also working. So allow people to do what they're supposed to do.
That takes a lot of energy. You wake up and you abuse people on
I always tell them on Twitter, I swear, there's one I told, I genuinely pray God gives me your kind of energy, but at my job.
At my, yeah.
Yes.
So number one,
Number
know
one.
what kind of pressure it
Yeah.
is, whether it's
Then,
unnecessary or genuine.
Then we have necessary pressure. If CJ calls me and says, Robert, I'm concerned about an issue that you are doing, that's pressure that is necessary.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a place of honesty and somebody wants you to feel better about to get better. So you take that in, and the people you listen to, you also must understand, they're not there to correct you by breaking your spirit and making you feel bad about yourself. Then you have to understand that's pressure you allow in that will make you change later. There's good pressure and there's bad pressure.
Sure.
Then there is what we call your own internal pressure. That is when you have what we call an introspection. You stand and talk to the man in the mirror. Look at the good, look at the bad, and look at the ugly. Because you can lie to everybody, you can never lie to yourself. You know the deep scars underneath your shirt. We know the scars we have underneath these very good clothes. So you have to look at yourself and put some medicine there. It might be painful. The moment you can do that, then your pressure will take you to a positive place based on listen to the kind of pressure. If you are concentrating on pressure from faceless people, I call them the keyboard terrorists. You know what you're going to do? You're going to go into a depression and die. And then when you die, after your body has been interred, when people leave the gravesite, they will go eat and drink food that has been bought because you're dead, and then they'll forget you within 7 hours. The only people who will miss you, your wife or your husband or your children. So don't die for unnecessary pressure.
And they're going to use you as an example. Don't give in to social media pressure after they made you die. You know, that's what I hate the most.
Well, now you're talking about social media. I want to know then how you thrive, right, under pressure. And I want you to answer it from a social media perspective. He's done a very good job by, first of all, saying we need to understand, is it unnecessary pressure or necessary pressure? And today we're saying no to unnecessary pressure. Yeah. But for you, I want you to, your answer to really be specific around social media. I
have been trolled. Lord, I've been trolled. And people, one thing I've learned, and you said I'm going to answer it as me. I don't like giving examples with people. So every time I go to Instagram, every morning I wake up, I always ask myself, do I really need to update? Do I have anything to update? Do I have anything to tell people? No, then why am I updating? You know, is it necessary? Because I understood social media has a lot of messed up people, and I mean really broken, messed up people out there that are so bitter that even you saying praise God is a reason for them to insult you. Trust you me. They'd be like, Mbona nataja Mungu? You'd be like, are you kidding me? So, and one thing I also do, I rarely respond. There are those ones I'd be like, no, don't tell me to be the bigger person. They need to understand it's not okay to keep insulting people sometimes. Sometimes they'll mention my kids. They really get in there, you know, they can get in there. And there's a time it really bugged me. There's a day it bugged me. And I remember I told my boss, I was like, I can't. I really want to respond to them because they don't know me and they don't have a right. And then someone told me, why are you arguing with someone who doesn't know you personally? You get? Why are you getting personal with someone who doesn't know you personally? You're giving them more mileage because they don't know you. They don't even know you.
Why are you getting personal with
someone who doesn't know you personally?
Yeah.
And I keep saying, all these people who insult you don't have a face. They have fake names, fake. If they are bold enough, They need to face you. Then the same week I was being trolled heavily. I met someone in town, and guess what they told me? Hi, Anita. Nimi kutukana Twitter. I was like, and then he asked for a selfie. My reaction, my face never lies. I was like, I had a lot of reactions on my face. And I was like, you know what? These people just need to be recognized. I swear, most of them will inbox me. If I don't respond, they're like, you're still arrogant, you don't respond. I'm like, you insult me and you inbox me to respond. And when I respond, they're like, "Siko na ubaya, ni social media too." And then I told myself, you know what, Anita? Breathe in, breathe out. It's never that serious. Me, I just go to Instagram. I always do me. I never, ever focus on anything else.
Because I mean, in this day and age, there's a lot of online bullying.
Sana,
so
and
how do
people
you thrive online when you're being bullied? But
I take advantage of it. I always say, for me nowadays, I have a rule. There's no bad publicity. You want to insult me? That's your problem.
Right.
You have a problem with your dressing? Actually, genuinely, that's your problem.
All right.
So I just wake up, post what I want to post, feel good about myself. You continue insulting me, but then genuinely, I really don't focus on it.
Okay.
At
so
all.
CJ, now from a relationship point of view, I'm so sorry. I mean,
CJ, the relationship man,
relationship expert.
I'm telling
So
you.
how do you thrive? How do you and your spouse thrive in your relationship, in your marriage, still when you go through pressure? Because it's not that the pressure is not there, you know, whether you are the president or Mama Boga, within your marriage there is pressure. So how do you thrive while still undertaking that pressure?
All right, I'll start from a broader perspective, then I'll come back to the relationship point. I think if you're going to thrive under pressure, you must first of all identify your purpose. If you identify your purpose, you will not easily be swayed, you know, because you know this is where I am going. Then you define your passion. You know, you find your passion. What is it that you like to do? And when you find that, no matter what anybody else is saying, or no matter what is happening anywhere else, you enjoy doing what you're doing. So you find your purpose, then you find your passion. 3, you've got to manage your process. You manage your process.
Process.
Yeah. You know that I'm at this stage, at this time in life, and nobody's going to force me to be at the next stage.
Amen.
So you're not going to push me into this kind of lifestyle or behave this way because this is where I am at. You know, one of the things that probably RB and Anita did not mention sometimes is that the expectations that people put on you just because you're a public figure. So if you're a public figure, you know, so you need to live in a certain side, drive a certain kind of a car, take your children to certain kind of schools,
eat certain kind of
kind of stuff. You know, I hear questions, sometimes people ask me, so which country do you and your wife go to for holidays? You know,
is United
they're
Kisumu
going to pick
country?
stuff from elsewhere and put it on you. So you must manage your process. You must manage your process. Don't allow anybody to take you where you have not grown into. That's how some people begin to crack. Because they begin to think, you know, I need to be this kind of a person. But also you need to celebrate your progress.
Wow.
You need to celebrate your progress. You know where you've come from. Anybody else would not know, and they may not appreciate the progress that you have made. It may not look like it's too much progress for them, but you know that it has costed you everything just to get there. For some people, just to live a disciplined life, it has costed them everything. Somebody else will be talking about what's not working in your life, but then you know, just for you to live a discipline.
That should trend.
For me, that should trend. The fact that sometimes people see you and they don't know what it takes for you to actually show up every day.
So you celebrate your progress. Celebrate it. You know, from a biblical perspective, you know, God will say, day 1, let there be light. Then he said, that's good. Day 2, not everything was completed at the same time. But every single day, he said, that's good, that's good, that's good.
If God can say that's good, and us,
who are you?
I like that. I've never thought of it that way.
So you celebrating your progress.
Okay.
People will wait for the finished package. They don't know what it takes to get over there. So you need to celebrate that. When you begin to do that, Zinzi, I think you will manage the pressure.
And thrive while you manage.
Yeah, you will thrive.
Have you seen that meme of a goat walking and it's being surrounded by crocodiles? Have you seen that meme? You haven't seen it? What side of the internet do you guys live in? Okay, speaking of appreciation, let's take a look at some of the tweets. Hashtag Daybreak at Citizen TV Kenya. That's our Twitter handle. And we were asking you this morning how you deal with pressure. So thank you so much for tweeting. Stephen, you say pressure arises from disorganization and poor time management. Sort the two and everything will run smoothly. I like that. You know, sometimes it's even just simple management skills from your finances, time, etc. All right. This is another tweet. Nyerere, yes, I love that. You say pressure needs a stress-free environment. It's my advice that any person with pressure should be in a stress-free life. Create your own stress-free life. Create your own heaven. CJ, earlier on we were talking, you already hinted about it, and I want to pick it up from there. How you help how you be there for someone who is going through a certain kind of pressure from work, pressure in biashara, pressure from finances, and like you said, some people never want to talk about it. Others want to sit in it. Others perhaps, I mean, we all have different ways. But how do you then be there for someone?
You need to understand the person that you're dealing with. And this is why relationships are work. Relationships are work because I have to understand who Zinzi is, and I've got to understand who Anita is, and not come in with a template that this is how you're going to both deal with issues. So that when I am there for Anita, I have customized my help to Anita. I come in for Anita. I don't come in with what I used over Zinzi. I come in for Anita, and I understand that this is how she does things, this is how she would want to be at this particular point. I come in to understand her. You need to listen to what the person is not saying. Then you can begin to pick up whether they want to talk about it or they just want to be left alone. Sometimes even when they don't want to talk about it, they still need your presence right there.
Just your presence.
Just your presence. You don't have to always do something when you're with somebody. Sometimes it means the world to them that you left everything and then just came to hang out with them and be there and not say anything important and not try to fix anything. They just want to feel safe. They're dealing with it, they're processing it, but they just want to feel safe. And they want to feel that, you know, they meant something to you. So always try to understand the people in your life. Try to understand how they manage their processes and then help them to manage the process. When they begin to feel like they can let it out, they will. And don't add the pressure with the pressure of talk to me.
I think that's
I know you're not
talking.
Where are you not talking?
You're not talking
if you're not talking to me, who are you talking to?
You know, don't add the pressure.
And also some statements you can't make when somebody's depressed or look at the brighter side. Those are statements they don't want to hear because you're telling them you're very negative.
And also, God has a plan. You're always like, I'm gonna chop
you know.
So sometimes not even saying those things, just being there, your physical presence, even though you're quiet, goes a long way.
It does.
Right.
Show that you care.
Okay, Burale, this is your question because we were just talking about expectations and the expectations we put because of Alejandro.
Yes.
But we haven't talked about the expectations we put on ourselves.
Yes.
Right? And what that does to us, ourselves. Just touch on that.
And we put very high expectations that we know we can't meet at that point in our life because we don't understand ourselves. Now, because now somebody's asking CJ, so which country do you go for holiday with your wife? And then now, because that person has asked that, you add the R from county of Mombasa to the country of France. You understand? But because he understands himself, he will not fall for that pressure. Now, you're on TV, that means then you have to drive a 4x4 car. Well, I'm happy with my small car. You understand what I'm saying? Because that is not what I need at this moment in life. You understand? But any other person out there, I was speaking to some university girls and I asked a question, so what car do you think I drive? And I asked for a reason. And half of them said a Range Rover Sport. So
well, you look like a Range Rover Sport.
The Luya man looks like a Range Rover Sport. But then I said, I can't afford it. And they're like, what do you mean you can't afford a Range Rover Sport? The truth of the matter is, I cannot afford it.
At this point in time.
I will afford it later. Can I get an amen? But even if you can afford it, it may not be necessary now.
It may not be priority.
Because everybody, I've seen public figures, and I'm going to say it, and they may bash me.
You just added the P, priority.
Exactly, you know? I've seen public figures driving big cars, not because their financial elasticity can allow, but the public have put them under pressure, and they have put themselves under the same pressure. I hear people say, you know, I'm a brand.
What brand?
The moment you say that, then you're not. So those are the pressures you put on yourself.
You know, I once tweeted a hilarious tweet because I was driving and I love sitting in front with the bus drivers because you want to missionary in Nairobi, you want to understand what's happening.
Drivers.
They are the
Oh,
ones,
I
right?
know.
So I tweet and I'm like, okay, this bus driver has just said this. It's super hilarious. Comment section, what is someone like you doing in a matatu?
You see?
All right, no problem. Anyway, Anita, do you...
I went to my stage the other day.
Yeah. Ukigoje matatu.
And the guy was like, uliongea vibaya juzi kwa TV, ufai kuingia kwa mat. I was like, brother, can you even get me the front seat? As he said, let me tell you something, there's nothing as worse as these pressures. Someone said once in a certain movie, I love movies, if you have to say it, then you're not it. If you have to say it, you're not it. If you have to keep saying I'm Anita, you're not it. If you have to keep saying I'm big, you're not it. If you have to keep I'm a brand, what brand? I always tell people, even any vanity, you know.
But be honest with me, within your success so far within your career at such a young age, that you're not sometimes put unhealthy expectations on yourself?
I do. A lot. And that had to stop last year. I remember my therapist actually told me to write all my expectations. Then she tore them apart. I was like, what? And me, when I write something, I'm like, where are you? And she was like, you need to go on level ground and stop over-expecting. You've already come a long way. Stop overdoing it. You're pushing yourself too hard. Already everybody around you is expecting this much. Just relax. It's going to work. I'm learning that the hard way, not to expect too much, not to put too much pressure on myself. So nowadays, I'm not rushing to do things. I'm not feeling the urgency to do things. People might think I've become maybe lazy. If I have an event, I'll be like, you know what? Let's not rush it. If I have anything I want to do, because I was giving myself too much pressure. Iyo unapata kwa watu wawili watatu, Anita, you should be doing this. You know, you don't have enough time. Squeezy media, you will not say. Then I realized, you know what? I need to stop listening to the voices around me and listen to myself and walk at my own pace.
Right.
I will jab for as long as I want to jab. I love jabbing. It's fun. I will walk. People always like, oh, you need a car. I'm like, I always ask people, are you buying? They're like, hey, I'm like, that's an honest question. Are you buying me the car? People will be like, you enter a weird, I love Mutura basis, so I'll pass by here. And the person will be like, Anita, it's a shame. I'm like, what's a shame? You're passing here. Is there a tag for people not to come here? You're a brand. Right. What brand? This brand comes here. And I tell people, I've learned to be so comfortable in my own space. It never bothers me. I walk, the other day someone was like, I was in rubbers and a dress. I was like, why is it bothering you and it's me who's wearing them? You're a public figure. I was like, this is how public figures want to look like.
Mine is my kachumbari, but anyway, we all have ours.
Kachumbari and what?
My kachumbari. From the street, not making them at home. Yes. I'm trying to make them at home.
My pasua.
Do you realize even when you're having nyama choma?
It's not the same.
The guy who is cutting, they sweat.
And you're okay.
That's another story for another day. Guy. CJ.
It's a good thing. I don't like nyama choma cut in a very five-star well. No,
it's not nyama
cut
choma.
one untidy piece like that.
So that's the salt on that nyama you're needing over here is that guy's sweat. Oh my gosh. All right. CJ, because of time, I want you to touch on pressure, but from a ministry point of view. All right, there are quite a number of people who are in ministry. You're also actively involved in that. How do you make sure that you also don't put too much expectations on yourself? Because the other thing is, the way we have expectations on our spouses being our peace, we have expectations on our pastors being perfect.
They should be.
See? Example
you need to be perfect.
And that's why we are abused
So
every
talk
day.
to the people who are in ministry and they feel like they put certain pressures on themselves as well.
Number one, I'll go back to what I said. You know, I'll say find your purpose. We're not all called to do the same thing. Whether you're in ministry or business, whatever it is, you're not all called to do the same thing. And you must also find your pace. Find your pace. We're not all going to run at the same speed. So stop the comparison. Never compare yourself with somebody else to determine whether you are doing well. No, don't do that. I've got 3 biological sons. They didn't start talking at the same time. They did not grow at the same pace. They don't have like the same kind of heights, you know. Each of them is very different. I had to learn each and every one of them very separately, differently, because the second one did not come like the first one. So that's how different as individuals we are. So stop comparing yourselves with other people. You never know what people do, you know, to get them where they are or the price that they have paid.
Right.
So enjoy what you are doing. Just celebrate as you're going through. You know, if you find somebody else looking like they're doing better, that's good enough.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, our time is up, but I need your closing statements very quickly. I'll begin with you, Burali.
Find your purpose. In your purpose is your area of dominion. When you're in your place of dominion, fulfillment is guaranteed. When fulfillment is guaranteed, pressure will not bring you down.
Hey, do you have a book?
Oh, I know. I was like, we need to record that and code it.
Anita?
First of all, before we wind up, happy birthday, RB in advance.
Oh,
It's
tomorrow is my birthday, you know.
Well, he's turning 50-something.
51. 50 well. You see that pressure now?
But anyway, I'm going to
Thank
tell
you very
people,
much.
you're welcome, you're welcome. I'm going to tell people what I always tell myself in the morning. If I'm good enough for myself, then I'm good enough for the world. That's it. I don't need to be good enough for anyone else. If I'm good enough for myself, I'm good enough for the world.
Beautiful. CJ?
You wake up today, there's an opportunity to do something. You don't do it, go to bed, sleep, there's tomorrow. No pressure.
All right.
I'm going to bed after this.
Let's take a look at feedback. Thank you again so much for the feedback that you've been sending through the conversation. Let's read them. Let's see them on our SMS line and on our texts. Okay, so on SMS, you don't say who you are. I am an ex-police officer dealing with a lifetime pressure to raise my family. I resigned from my job due to lack of promotion for a graduate degree over 10 years of service. I have met the wrath of the economy from bad to worse. No job and totally stressed. Wow. So you can even tell how, you know, Kenyans, their own personal stories. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's take a look at another one. Now this is on Twitter. Hashtag Daybreak is our hashtag, and @CitizenTV, that's the Twitter handle. Charity, I should accept I know that he or she isn't okay, because it's okay to not be okay. Then look for someone who can talk to, who you can talk to, one that you know that will listen and make fun out of your situation. Being silent is denial about what's happening, and it will lead you to depression. So Charity has just shared how she deals with pressure, looking for someone who can listen and also make fun out of the situation. Yeah. Sir, you say, I take a break from everything, immerse myself in cool music, visit a place, e.g. walking along the beach. Hey, even me want to walk along the beach. Or in a park, and it gives me a lot of serene thoughts and moments. Above all, I keep everything else to bare minimum. It works, and I emerge and re-energize. Hashtag Daybreak. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, that is the last comment. Again, thank you so much for watching Daybreak and also your feedback. Happy pre-birthday, Purale.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you.
Thank
May
you.
God continue to extend
Thank you so much.
50 looks so good on you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to take a quick commercial break, but Daybreak hasn't ended. Within the next 1 hour, myself and Sam Gituku will be right back with stories making headlines at this hour. Stick with Citizen TV.